Marjorie Taylor Greene has attempted to make a name for herself as this anti-establishment populist representative. But she has made it clear that she actually cares about her stock portfolio more than the claims that she makes publicly about avoiding certain wars. Now, here's what she tweeted just a few weeks ago. This context matters. War and rumors of war is incredibly profitable and convenient. And just like that, the media now has a lie to use as a reason for our shattered economy and out of control inflation. What a sad existence it must be to shill for globalism and America Last politicians. So I'm guessing she's referring to Russia, and at that time, it's threats in invading. Yeah, it hadn't invaded Ukraine quite yet, but soon after that tweet, Russia did invade Ukraine. So she was speaking out against what American intelligence was saying about the invasion, something that I even questioned. We questioned that on the show, but it is what it is. Russia absolutely invaded Ukraine. There's no question about it. Now, the important thing is, while she's pretending to present herself as this like anti-war person, fact of the matter is she's invested in private defense contractors. So let's go to this next tweet just out. Marjorie Taylor Greene bought stock in America's largest defense contractor, Lockheed Martin, a day before tweeting, "War and rumors of war is incredibly profitable." She bought the stocks. She bought the stock a day before tweeting that. She's totally revealing herself. She's like, this could be profitable, which is why I invested in Lockheed Martin a day before I tweeted this out.
Funny she didn't include that in the tweet.
So good.
She literally meant it might be profitable for her. Isn't that amazing? While pretending to be against the war. So I know what she'll do afterwards. She'll do the same trick that Trump does every time. It was a smart thing to do. Okay, I was against the war. I just want to make money off of it. Okay,
No.
only suckers and losers don't make money off of wars.
Let me just say, had she gone in that direction, it's not that I'd ever have respect for her, but I think that would be a better response because at least it's honest, right? At least it's, yeah, of course I'm profiting off of war. That's what I do, right? It's smart. No, that's not what she did. She used the other ridiculous excuse that we see among members of Congress, both on the left and the right. What is it, Cenk? I'm gonna let you take a guess. What do they say when they get caught investing in shady ways?
Free market.
No.
Okay.
No, it's
It's her broker.
I didn't do that. It's my financial advisor. It's my broker.
There you go.
Yeah, you're a moron who doesn't. Like, I don't buy that argument. Listen, if you're a member of Congress, you're not allowed to have some third party invest your money and just like put it all on autopilot. It doesn't work that way. You are supposed to be a public servant. No one in Congress should be allowed to invest in individual stocks. So that's point number one. But unfortunately, they are allowed to invest in individual stocks. So if you are a member of Congress, aren't you concerned about, how certain things would appear, certain conflicts of interest, right? Wouldn't you be worried about that? So you have an obligation to at least oversee how your money is being invested. I don't buy this argument at all. Sorry, I just don't. And that's, by the way, exactly what she said. Our investment advisor has full discretionary authority over our accounts. We have owned this American company for years, but you invested in it a day before you tweeted that out, so don't lie. Okay, and she says that it's just a small investment, no big deal. She didn't do it, it was her financial advisor. Okay, sure, throw the financial advisor under a bus because you're a moron who apparently has absolutely no control over your own finances.
Again, Congress has access to information we don't have. That's why a lot of the senators and other folks in Congress made investment decisions right after they got a briefing on COVID, but public didn't know yet. And this was early 2020, and they rushed out and bought drug company stock. They dumped stock that they thought wasn't going to do well. They did telecommunications stock, so because Zoom, et cetera, was going to take off. I mean, it was very much based on the intelligence that they received. So I don't know what intelligence Marjorie Taylor Greene received from her job, but in an incredible stroke of luck, her investment advisor, who didn't talk to her at all, apparently got the same intelligence because he rushed out and bought Lockheed Martin stock right before Russia started the war. But golly gee, it had nothing to do with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She came to find out later. And was she broken up about it? No, she said, that's an American company I've been investing in for years. Oh, so you don't mind. You didn't even think it was an issue. Hey guys, think about this. Think about why we can't let them trade individual stocks. Because even if it wasn't the Russian invasion, Marjorie Taylor Greene could buy $1 million of Lockheed Martin, the other senators could buy literally $100 million worth of stock of Lockheed Martin, and then pass a giant defense bill that gives billions to Lockheed Martin, or billions more to Lockheed Martin, full well knowing that's gonna drive their stock price up, and they're gonna get rich off of that.
Bingo.
And by the way, how do you think, and this isn't just a Republican issue, how do you think Nancy Pelosi and her husband have beat the markets on issues that came before Congress universally, decade after decade? Republicans do it, Democrats do it. They profit off of the information that they have when they're supposed to be our representatives. It is particularly galling in this case because nobody thinks Nancy Pelosi is a populist. She's the most obvious elitist in the world, except for the people in Washington who go to the same glamorous cocktail parties as her. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is pretending to be a populist.
Right, much like other right wingers. And every time I hear the left wing claim that we can, join forces with the populist right to get Medicare for all. I mean, I couldn't roll my eyes harder on that issue. They don't want Medicare for all. They don't want to raise taxes. They don't want a wealth tax. They don't believe in the same things. Their answer to America's problems is, let's just ban asylum seekers, let's create a white ethno state, that'll solve everything. That's their solution. But moving on, I do want to talk about some of the other issues with her investments. And again, members of Congress should not be invested in individual stocks. So for instance, last year she invested in Digital World Acquisition, and that's the SPAC that owns the Trump social network, Truth Social. So there you have it, there's the evidence of her investment. And then in February, she publicly pumped that investment on a Facebook Live video. Let's take a look at that.
I just want you guys to know I'm up on Truth Social. Have you guys gotten on there yet? I think today is the day where everyone can start getting signed up and hopefully getting their profiles going. Facebook censors us. It censors me greatly. It pushes down my posts and it makes it hard for a lot of people to see them.
Yeah, maybe the viewers of that video should have known that she was personally invested in this company and had a financial interest in doing that advertising for it. But of course, that information was never disclosed with them. In January, she also made a suspiciously timed trade of Activision Blizzard stock. So Marjorie Taylor Greene filed a stock disclosure indicating that she sold up to $15,000 worth of Activision Blizzard stock on January 18th. And that was the day news broke of plans of the video game company to be purchased by Microsoft, right? So like all of this stuff obviously looks suspicious, and it should look suspicious. There are conflicts of interest here. There are problems with personal enrichment, using intelligence or information that ordinary Americans are not privy to make investment decisions. All of this stuff is so gross, so awful, and it's widespread in Congress. We're focusing on Marjorie Taylor Greene in this particular story, but again, it's widespread. We see it happen in both parties, and it needs to stop.
Yeah, let me give you a couple more examples of her problems. So she also invested in Caterpillar. Caterpillar's workers did a strike. Is she going to be in favor of the average American worker at that strike, or is she going to be in favor of the executives who are helping her make money off the Caterpillar stock? Think about it. We
know.
Secondly, Chevron Corporation, they're about to make a killing if we reopen our trade with Venezuela on oil. Is she going to have a right-wing position that is principled, whatever it might be? Or is she gonna have the position of, yeah, let's do business with Venezuela because it's gonna make her richer, right? And then the last one is Clorox. Obviously, she's gonna want you to treat coronavirus with Clorox in your lungs, just like Donald Trump suggested, so she can make more money. So she can be dumb and corrupt at the same time. And final thing here, guys, is if you're a right winger, do you think that Nancy Pelosi should be allowed to invest in Lockheed Martin and then start a war? Invest in Chevron and then reopen negotiations with Venezuela based on that. If you don't think Nancy Pelosi should be able to do it, or Joe Biden, why are you in favor of Marjorie Taylor Greene doing it? Do you think she's an angel and that she wouldn't be influenced by millions of dollars? And by the way, if you're a Democrat, you saw the story, you probably got a good chuckle out of it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, there she goes again, we got her. Do you think that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and Jim Clyburn and all those guys are angels? You probably do. And I got news for you, they ain't. When they do it, it's just as corrupt as when Marjorie Taylor Greene does it.
Absolutely, and look, the good news on this is one of the few issues where Democratic and Republican voters seem to be united, right? Both parties, voters from both parties think this is unacceptable behavior. And so, of course, naturally, nothing will be done about it. So whenever there's actual bipartisan agreement on political issues, nothing is ever done about it.
Because the politicians also have bipartisan agreement that no, let's keep stealing from the American people. Both Democrats and Republicans are in favor of that. And of course, when they have bipartisan political agreement from the corrupt forces in Washington, the people that are gonna cheerlead it the most is corporate media. So all of mainstream media will tell you it's no big deal and that they're all angels, but especially Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, who are beyond reproach. And obviously the Republicans could be corrupt, but the poor Democrats, they took the billions of dollars out of the goodness of their hearts. It's nonsense, corruption is corruption. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.